Man, hopefully you guys will find this here, because what the hell? Can't believe found it. I don't know what the hell happened there. Hopefully we can jump right back into it when you guys are all back here. I don't know why it froze up like that. What a pain in the ass. I'm gonna keep doing this for a minute and wait for you guys to kind of all pile back in, because I don't want anyone to miss something if you asked a question. What a bummer. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I had to jump back on with a public feed. What kind of sucks is if it disconnects at all when you're on the private link, the link expires and you can't use it anymore. Which is really fucking annoying. Looks like I'm gonna have to take a little bit of material off the underside of this armature bar. Yep, you can see it's got that little bit right there, but it's already hitting pretty flat. You can see there, but it's got that tiny ring right there where it's striking. So I'm gonna just take a little bit of material, barely shave that, because I don't feel like taking the coils off to do it. Yeah, it's a total pain in the ass. The YouTube thing, it's really not the best setup, but we're still trying to figure out how best to do these broadcasts. And I don't know. I had a meeting with Alex the other day to figure out like steps moving forward, how to make this thing better. And we have some ideas. I'm gonna make a bunch of standalone videos that I think are gonna be more valuable than the kind of rambling workshops where stuff just gets right to the point. So like if you want to like say, hey, I want to figure out how to set up a fast liner, you can just, you know, upload or just download that one video, just watch that one video and not have to sift through any of the other shit. Let's see. I'm not taking off. Come on, man. I'm not thrilled with this rear spring, so I'm gonna try something else. If the next one doesn't work, I'm going to try an 18, half inch 18 rear. And if that doesn't do the trick for me, then I'm going to go to 20. Yes, lower tension will give you a lot more feedback and a lot less skin trauma. I think that was what everybody really liked about Paul Rogers machines when people were figuring out, his tuning was kind of making stuff heal a lot faster. At least it's, like one of my good friends he was a protege of Paul and said that using his machines retaught him how to tattoo, and his tattoos started healing up a lot faster when he was using machines that had really, really low spring tension, a lot less resistance and a lot more feedback. When you put the needles in, you can feel what they're doing a lot more. There was so I'd begun to answer a question about your armature bar hitting at an angle, and I punched a spring to sort of illustrate what I was talking about. So when you punch a spring, sometimes it's like it's at a right angle, sometimes it's crook, like this, sometimes you go straight on. Everybody punches it at a different angle, and there's really no right way to do it. The issue is that when this thing shears through, it leaves a little burr on the underside, and that little burr will end up on one side of this hole. If it doesn't end up all the way around, because it's not going to end up all the way around, because the way that this thing shears is it cuts at an angle, at least on this style, right? So it's going to put a little bit of a burr that goes on one side of the spring. Now that little burr landing on one side of this hole can cause the armature bar to sit a little crooked. So when you punch your springs, you want to file that little burr off, and you see how it's got like a little circle around it now? That's where you take that extra material off, and that allows your spring to hit flat, right? Or your armature bar to hit flat. That's going to help your armature bar hit flat. Now, that's the first thing I would check, is if there's a burr on your spring. Now you can see that more came off of this side than that side, right? So I think that it would be safe to say that if you're right-handed or left-handed, right? If you're right-handed, you're gonna punch your springs the same way every time. You're gonna probably put them in just like this, right? And it's gonna cause that extra material to land on a specific side. So I've noticed that when I put my machines together, there was always a little bit of a gap on the let's just say the passenger side of the coil, right? There's always a little bit of a gap there. When I started filing that little thing out, that little burr off of there, that went away. Now, I think that if I were left-handed, I think it's safe to say that the burr would have landed on the other side of the hole, and it would have caused the coil to miss in the other direction, right? So for years, I always thought it was a machining issue. I always thought it was like an issue with the frame, with the spring shelf, with the coil shelf, or even with the coils. It's totally in the springs. It's that little burr. So once you eliminate that burr, and if it's still hitting at an angle, try to twist your spring a little bit. But you don't want to twist it too much, because then you're not going to be straight up on your over your needle bar, right? Is that they sound as stable as they, let's see. Yeah, subtle nuances are exactly right. I feel like lower spring tension is this weird phenomenon where the machine speeds up a bit more under the skin. You find that perfect level of bog where it just sinks ink in like butter. Exactly. Like it's like a certain amount of give, right? Like when you put the needles in and your needles are like halfway, they're, you know, you don't put them, I'm never putting them all the way and I hang them out quite a way, but when you put them halfway in and it gives you that little bit of resistance, that's right where you're feeling it put the ink in just like butter. You're just like, you're able to like hum along, your needle's halfway in, you're getting that feedback in your hand from the machine. And I think that with lower tension, you're able to read that a lot better with your hand. And yeah, like lower tension machines are going to have a little bit more chatter. They're going to sound a little more rattly, but that doesn't matter. Like what matters is the way they tattoo. You know, like I have machines that sound like a coffee can full of pennies, but they tattoo like butter. Okay, let's put a little more tension on this guy now. Let's see how that feels. And if that doesn't do it, we're going to go to 20 thousandths because I'm still kind of chasing down the right combination here with these 10 wrap coils. Because for black and gray, we want it to be, I mean, I like to be faster than a standard shader, me personally. I might not be liking this front spring. Change out that front spring. I'll cut another one for it. So you think frame jigs that have a 2 to 4 degree angle are ideal for low spring tension? I'm using, this machine was made with 105, or I'm sorry, 1.5, and that's typically where I'm most of my fixtures I'm using are 1.5 degrees. I never use anything past 2 anymore. I used to use 2.5. I'm finding a lot less spring breaking with 2 and below. 2 degrees, 1.5, or even 1. I don't use any that are at 0 unless I'm making like a really, really fast, soft cutback liner, like something just for singles. I'll use 0 degree. But you know, if you want to make a nice long stroke shader that has a nice long rear spring and low tension, then you can probably get away with 3. Anything over that, you're going to be really risking breaking your springs, I think, in my experience. All right, so let's see. This is some of that compression ring tool spring. I'm going to use some of that for this guy. And it's got a nice curl on it already. It's already got like a sweet bend. Let's see. Yeah, it's a good length. All right. I got this cool little guy the other day. It's like a little miniature benchtop grinder thing. And I have it sitting right here where I make springs. Whatever just flew off of there went up my nose. And it's going to make me sneeze in a second here, I think. Okay. Anyway. If you have a lot of angle on your spring deck, you can bend your spring downwards. Yeah, but I suppose you can bend your spring downwards, but that kind of works, that works against the memory of the spring. You want the memory to go, you want that tension to go one way. To that one. Let's see. Try that guy. So I'm going to go back to that first rear, that wide one, just because I'm curious. See how we end up there, because I don't want it to be, I really don't want it to be slow. I want it to be nice and quick. But sometimes that front spring is the culprit. Sometimes the front spring is just too wide and too stiff to get any real power. But you can see that nice natural curl on the spring from the that compression tool. It's a little bit long. A little bit. Here. Anybody watch UFC fights this weekend? Saturday? Evan, yeah, that was me. I came through my shop with red paint. I've been going through and painting all my tools. I remember as a little kid, I remember asking an old guy, I was like, why are all your tools painted? And he said that way he would know who stole them. He's like, if he saw one of his tools in his friend's stuff, he would know that they got them from him. Or if he loaned a tool to somebody, he would know that it was his because it was painted red. And I always liked it, and it always stuck with me. So my plan is to go through and paint every tool in here red. Even my DeWalt power tools. Oh man, that thing's a beast now. Jeez. Yeah, hey Josh, those Kingpin ones are garbage, man. Yeah, Josh, this is the thing I'm working on now. The black paint pretty much all fell off because I didn't sandblast the frame. I don't have any blast media for my new blaster yet. I didn't get any sand for it, so I just went ahead and painted the frame. And as soon as I touched it, it started falling off. So this is that black one. It's not really black, mostly not black anymore. So this was, oh man, it runs so good the way it is. I don't want to fuck with it. So right now we're like in like serious color packer territory. Change it. I'm gonna have to tell homie I'm building him something else because this thing is fucking sick the way it is. Let's see. Yeah, the Kingpin ones, I can't use them because the knurling doesn't hold the washer, so I have to put a ton of glue. I bought some just to try them because I needed them in a pinch, and every one of them was undersized. The Eminent, the ones from Aaron Bloomquist are really good. they're just perfect size. Let's see. Working on the Black Rogers. Yeah, red paint. Yep. Last 3 fights didn't catch any of the others. Oh yeah, I haven't watched that undercard fight yet. I think it's pretty amazing that they pretty much like straight up fired that ref after the fight. No, this spray paint that I have takes 25 minutes. Where is it? Hang on a second. This brand, it's the Rust-Oleum 2X. Dries in 25 minutes, and it's really strong. That's what I used on all these tools, and it's fucking fantastic. Oh, what do we got here? Certain liners make good black and gray shaders, or is it all myth? No, it's absolutely true. Man, I think it was in Berlin, like, I don't know, probably like 97 or 98. I was watching Paul Booth tattoo. He was doing a big black and gray tattoo, and he used a Mickey Sharp's microdial for the whole thing, and it was not altered at all. It was just like straight out of the box microdial, running really fast and really soft, and you know how good that dude's tattoos are. And that was sort of a changing point for me. That was like totally a turning point in my machine making and in my theory, you know, because I had talked to Jack Rudy a lot about setting up black and gray shaders, and he likes them to be really soft and long and slow. But his work looks totally different than Paul's. You know, Jack's is very stipply if you look at it, and Paul's is really, really smooth. So when you work with like a really long taper needle and you water your black down and you use black that has a small particle size, a liner can be awesome for black and gray shading. Man, this thing runs so good, I don't want to take it apart. The guy bought a black and gray machine, so I'm gonna have to keep fucking with it for him. Man, what a bummer. Yeah, man. Josh, those are the kind of injuries that, like, you know, can kill you. I mean, like there's been a couple people in recent months that have died from either MMA or boxing matches where they should have been stopped, or they like got took a shot that they shouldn't have taken, and ended up killing them. One of them was a woman. She died after a knockout, and I don't know. That shit's fucking. I mean, that's the real deal. You know, the referee's supposed to protect the fighters. That's like their one job is protect the fighters. And dude did not do his job. Kind of disappointing, really disappointing. Oh man. So now I have to take this apart and just set it up again because it runs so good as a color packer, but we're like still missing the mark on the black and gray shader. I think I'm gonna try a different spring setup. But that front spring made from that spring compression tool, the ring compression tool, man, it is just fucking perfect. It feels like it might even be 17, not quite 18. It's like pretty squishy, but feels amazing. Let me think. Let's see. I might move this guy back. Go shorter front spring. Anybody been watching the Wu-Tang and American Saga series? That shit is so good. there we go. That one looks good. Man, I was betting on Dan Hooker. Not that I really thought Dan Hooker was going to win, but the odds were so crazy that I think I put like 200 bucks into like a betting account online, and then they matched the money that I put in. So I had 400 bucks to spend, and I ended up betting like, I don't know, on a few different outcomes. I should have bet, I really should have bet on Homie ending it in the first round. But there was one where I'd bet like 50 bucks for like Dan Hooker to win by knockout, and it would have won me $1,700 off of a $50 bet that wasn't even my money. It was money that they had given me. But man, that dude, Chimaev, he was the taller guy, right? Makaev is the littler dude who's also amazing. But yeah, the Glover Teixeira fight was incredible. Like he fucking absolutely destroyed Blachowicz. Let's see. Let's try this with a nice short front spring, liner style. Let's move this guy back. Cut back position. There we go. Let's see how that goes. All right, let's see what that does. That's got to do it, right? It's got to do it. Okay, what do I got here? You had $50 on Hooker by KO. Yeah, I mean, but the odds, I had 50 on Hooker by KO too, but the odds were crazy. Like, I think a $50 bet on Hooker by knockout would have won $1,750. There we go. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right, so I'll share what I have going on here. I've got 10 wrap coils with a 5/16 iron core. I've got 24 gauge wire. I've got a capacitor, my 3547 47 UF capacitor. I've got about a 1/4 of an inch of rear spring gap with a standard Spalding wide tapered rear spring that's also plated. So it's 18 kind of plus, so it's close to 19. I've got an 18 thousandths short front spring that's a little stiff, right? And I've got a solid armature bar that's kind of a standard size. Let me measure it. It is 1 5/8. So your standard 1 5/8 body armature bar, and we are at 121 hertz, which is ideal for fast shader. We're on 8.8 volts with 0.4 amps. And this is humming. myself this little mini Vulcan hammer. That I use for tapping a little tension out. And you're goddamn right, it's painted red. Next time, I'm just going to use 8-rab coils. I wasn't planning on making this into a black and gray machine until somebody asked me to do it. Thought you guys might like this. This is one of those old Micro Jonesies, and I wanted to make a rear binder for it that fits in here really well. I don't know if you've ever used one of these, but I kind of screwed up on the design and made this little area is too tight for to get a really good connection with the rear binder, unless you kind of figure out a workaround, because the way that we did it with Workhorse was just like a straight little binding post off the back, or sometimes a wing nut with the two little with the tabs drilled. So I made this one the other day. I took one of these Spalding lever lock things and kind of put it like that, and then brazed a little binder on it vertically, and that way it gives more room in here to connect. This doesn't have a capacitor on it. It's a little angry, but you get the idea. But it gives you a lot more room to put your clip cord in there and swivel around easier. And that way it actually is more functional. Things we learn, Made this guy, I think it's been almost 20 years since I made those, and I've learned a lot since then. And man, that's why I made a new Micro Jonesies. Yeah, Sandhagen was doing really well. I thought Jan was going to end him a lot earlier, and he really impressed me. I think he gained a lot of fans that night. I think, didn't he most recently fight TJ Dillashaw, Sandhagen? Which I think that fight should have been a draw. I don't think Dillashaw really, I don't think Dillashaw really clearly won that fight. I think it was at best a draw for him. All right, that one's finally sort of done. Man, I'm a pain in the dick. I got to put a capacitor on this guy. Hang on, I'll be right back. That's about aluminum binders. Oh man, Josh, I'll show you something. I'll give you a little blast from the past. This is funny. There it is. That's the one, right? This is so embarrassing. I pulled this out. I found this the other day, and it was like when I first started learning how to use Photoshop. This thing is just so embarrassing. Ooh. But yeah, there it is. Love that picture. All right, aluminum binders. Yes, I found somewhat recently a huge bag of these. They're aluminum hex binders. I found them at like a local surplus place. They work great for fronts. For rears, it's a little bit questionable because they do wear out. So I would suggest if you're going to use it for a rear, especially like a horizontal style rear, that suggest you put a few holes in it because they're going to wear out. You know, like I would probably put 4 holes in it, lined up like that. And possibly think about maybe putting them on, you know, another angle of it, you know, maybe from the other side, because they do wear and they do get sloppy, which is why on aluminum frames I put a little steel insert, so that way the hole doesn't wear out. The older walkers that I did out of aluminum ended up with a big sloppy clipcord connection, and I had to replace some of those, or fix them by putting inserts in them for people. So just thought the aluminum's fine, but just keep in mind that it does wear. The connection is fine. I mean, they used to wire houses with aluminum wire. I mean, they ended up catching on fire. So, clearly that's not ideal, but, low voltage is totally fine. You don't want to put high voltage through aluminum, but it is a perfectly fine conductor. It's just not magnetic. But, brass isn't magnetic either, and brass makes a great binding post and great conductor. So it doesn't have to be magnetic for it to conduct. Come on, man. There we go. Sure doesn't help that my contact screw is steel, but that's what I have right now. What kind of metal is red? It was the oxide treatment that we got on the black oxide treatment that we got. For some reason, reacted to those frames and turned red. And we just kept using it because we liked it. It was like the first batch was weird or something, and we were like, "Oh, that looks cool. Let's just keep doing it." Still gotta fuck with that one some more, but it's close. This guy. Let's get a couple more questions in before I have to hang. So I got some stuff to do. And I got to get on the machines. I got to go use the machine tools, and you can't sit here for much longer. So let's do it. Let's get some stuff answered while we can. Start putting some stuff away. Spicy tea. This stuff? No way, man. Watermelon kombucha. What am I looking for? Looking for, oh yeah, here we go, little nippers. Chamomile kombucha? What kind of Portland shit is that? Chamomile kombucha. Come on, son. Let's see. It's gonna go around here for me. There we go. Hold on 1 second. Get me lined up. Come on now. Close enough, right? I always use a little drop of flux on these things to get the solder flowing quicker, so that way I'm not causing any excess heat to travel towards the capacitor, because the heat will damage it if you don't get these things soldered quickly. I'm going to take the front binder off because that will act as a heat sink. I just use it to get everything all lined up, but I take that off there because it will cause the heat to dissipate and end up traveling down towards the capacitor, which is where we don't want that heat. All right. One, this guy. Okay, and now the rear. See you later, Josh. Thanks for hanging out. Evan, when a coil wire bends too much and snaps, you have to reduce the wraps or use the coil. If it is an outer lead, no, you just take, I mean, just kind of pull a little bit of it off. You don't have to reduce the wraps. You just need to, like, I'll show you in 1 second. Let me get this attached and then I'll show you. That happens to me all the time. And there's a very quick and easy fix that does not call for the unwrapping of the coil. Okay. All right. So when, let's just say this guy here breaks, right? We'll break it, right? Okay, that one's broken there. So what I do is get a piece of spring works or a razor blade works. I take that little bit of wire where it's broken and lift it up. Hold on to this with your fingers like this, and then just take a little bit of that lead. Just take a few inches of it, just go around one time. Or if it's not long enough, go around one more time and then drop it through the hole. That will not affect the way the coil works at all. Just grab a little bit of it, a little bit of the wire and pull it through. And that gets fixed. Feeler gauge stock, not using right words in search. Coil sales down so bad. I'm not sure what you mean. Like the sale of coil machines? Okay, let's see what this dude's doing now. All right, now if there's capacitor involved. Whoa. Forgot to solder these coils together in the middle. There you go. All right. Yeah, it's totally fine. All right. I'm gonna get on to other stuff. Thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for your patience with getting started. Thanks for patience with the thing cutting out. I swear, one of these days soon, we're gonna have a better system. And I'm just waiting for my partner Alex to tell me like how he wants to do it. I'm not the tech guy. Alex deals with the photography and the filming and the internet stuff and all that shit. It's all him, and I just try to be on this side of it and make content. So hopefully we'll have some more information soon. hopefully we'll have an improved system soon. And until then, I thank you guys for sticking it out and enduring the nuances of our homemade operation here. But anyway, thanks again. Had a good time and actually got some shit done today. And I hope you guys left with a little nugget of information that you can use to make stuff better. I hope the discussion about the angled armature bar thing is at least helpful. I don't think that we've talked about that before. That little burr on the underside can make a lot of difference, when you punch your springs. So, really be on the lookout for that. It's, this little thing here. I don't know how well you can see it, but on one side of that, you can see, I think I can see on one side of that, the burr was wider, or where it was sanded away is wider, right? So like, you can see that it sort of favored one side of that hole. By sanding that off of there, it eliminates the twist of that armature bar. Anyway, I'm out. Thank you guys. Take care. Let's see. How do we do this? How do we do this? And how do we end it, man? Let's end this thing. Let's see. How do you end it? No, I don't want to report it. How do I end this thing, guys? No, I'm not going to report anybody. What the hell? End this thing. Tap the screen. Do that. Save highlight. Nope. That doesn't do it. That doesn't do it. There.